What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a great night, day, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And today we're going to be reacting to the Fortnite streamer who abandoned 4 million followers. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the video.
Daquan's rise to fame was extremely fast.
Daquan!
He began streaming
Didn't really watch a whole lot of him, but I only know him because of Myth.
In November 2017, but
or heard of him because of Myth.
He chose the perfect game at the perfect time.
Indeed he did.
He'd start off
W
with
choice.
5 viewers, and only 1 week later, he'd already surged to a peak of 87.
Damn, bro. W choice. W choice.
Viewers. Daquan was quickly attracting an audience due to his high level of skill on the game.
That's what's
but
up.
It wasn't just skill. Daquan also had a natural talent as an entertainer, and people were drawn into his hilarious personality. Things started moving even faster, and the following week his live view count would skyrocket to 500.
Bro,
and more fuel.
You know you were doing something right when this.
Moving even faster.
When this is the move right here, bro. That is the move. That is the move right there, bro.
Count would skyrocket to 500, and more fuel was added to the fire when Daquan would randomly end up in a squads lobby with the then popular streamer Dakotas. The two would have instant chemistry, and Dakotas took notice of how good Daquan was at the game, and would get him invited to the first Fortnite Invitational competitive matches.
Bro, Fortnite was way fun back when all this was a thing, bro. Now I don't even know, bro.
Daquan would live up to the hype and go on to win many of these private tournaments.
Let's
and with
go.
the lobbies being full of huge streamers that Daquan was wiping out with ease, it wasn't long before he saw even more growth. And by the end of December, he now had 5 invitational wins, 700 wins in public games, and had peaked at around 3,000 live viewers. This was absolutely incredible if you consider the fact that just 45 days ago, Daquan was streaming to 10 people. It was now 2018, and he'd continued grinding,
very incredible.
Going live every day, and by early February, he would reach 10,000 live viewers, with his YouTube crossing 10 million views in a month. On top of this, he would also sign to the pro esports org TSM. In March, he would then break the world record for the most kills in one game, and by April, he had solidified himself as one of the biggest streamers in the world, averaging 10,000 viewers every stream. Wow. Daquan would also collab with other huge streamers, and would move to LA to live in the now iconic TSM streamer house.
LA. Good old LA. What can I say about LA?
Alongside his roommates Hamlet and Myth, who were also some of the biggest streamers in the world at the time, with the three often collaborating together on and off stream, creating even more buzz around Daquan. And his growth was unstoppable, as by June 2018, Daquan would now peak at 150,000 live viewers. And when you consider he'd only been streaming for around 7 months at this point,
that's
this level
crazy,
of viewership was nothing other than jaw-dropping. And his YouTube channel would eventually peak.
That growth in 7 months is crazy, bro.
In August 2018, with 68 million views, and Daquan seemed to be happier than ever. However, in this very month, Daquan would reveal details about his past and how he previously had serious struggles with his health and had been battling depression.
Yeah, so like I'm 20, I had a really high paying job. I was having the time of my life, man. And then I got extremely sick. I was sick for 3.5 years. Very, very, very sick. I had to quit my job. I was literally just sitting in my bed. It was just severe nausea. At all times, it just felt like I was being stabbed in my stomach. And then 3 months went by, and then 6 months went by, and then a year went by. And that's when I really started getting depressed. And then on top of that, I had my first lung collapse. I was literally in the hospital for a month just for that. To this day, I still never knew what was wrong with me, and I still have those feelings sometimes in my stomach. I don't know, I just kind of like fight through it and ignore it as if it's not even there. My entire life was just ripped from me, you know? So I was super depressed, man. Like,
dang, bro, that's tough to hear.
Daquan still felt he hadn't fully overcome the sickness. However, he would fight through and ignore the pain, and continued streaming consistently all throughout 2018, going live almost every day, consistently averaging 20 to 30,000.
Oh, we've been there, bro. Live every single day. That can be draining, bro. The burnout, it's an instant thing, bro. Streaming every day, I wouldn't recommend it. I would not recommend.
2018 would be an incredible success, and going into the new year, Daquan would set himself a New Year's goal of uploading daily content in 2019. However, that goal was far from met, and 2019 would prove to be a troubling year.
He was streaming every day and uploading content every day.
For Daquan. For the first few
Bro,
months of the
man's
year,
a legend.
he streamed
That
a lot
is
less
stressful.
than the year prior and was often tweeting about his struggles with sickness. But things weren't all bad, as he was still fairly active, and his streams were still doing amazing, averaging 20,000 viewers despite Fortnite losing some popularity. However, by the end of April, it seemed his health problems were becoming much harder to manage, as the following month he would only go live 9 times, with Daquan tweeting, "The worst type of stomach problems are the ones where you don't know what the cause is, so you're just always in pain/nauseated and don't know how to make it go away. Hopefully we'll figure it out soon. I'm trying." And unfortunately, he wouldn't figure it out soon, with him not posting a single upload to YouTube or going live even once for the next 2 months. And after 2 months away, he would eventually tweet about how he's feeling better and should be returning very soon. He stayed true to his word and had his return stream on the 10th of August 2019, going live to a peak view account of
I see what he did there, bro. I see what he did there.
80,000, showing just how many people had missed him. This was accompanied by a return to YouTube with a video titled, "Where Have I Been?", giving his audience an insight into his life and why he left.
Yo, what's good, everybody? I miss y'all, man. I miss everything. During my whole time grinding, I was dealing with all those health issues. Finding out what was wrong with me was a top priority this year, and that was the reason for my original break. And having all that said, things continued to go downhill. Exy, she ended up eating at a restaurant and catching E. coli. On top of that, she had a really bad reaction to the antibiotics that she was.
Bro, that's crazy.
Balancing all of this on top of streaming a game that I started to find very unfun and more of a chore to play, it really sucked. Literally, all the things I blocked out, all the things I ignored, all the stress I swept under the rug, it just caught up to me, you know? I just missed the feeling of waking up ready to play a game that I fell in love with, and I haven't had that feeling in a very long time. I started
bro,
this
we gotta get
Fortnite once I
back
started playing
more
pro.
of just hopping on the game and playing to have fun, bro. That's what we need
Just
more
a
of.
snooze fest. I've gone through so much, but I'll be alright. I'm gonna be back super consistent on everything soon enough. I miss you guys, man.
Following this video, Daquan's girlfriend's health condition would get worse, and this seemed to impact his stream schedule,
Dang.
with him being very inconsistent throughout August. Daquan would then have a small run of consistency before disappearing again in the middle of November, and this was followed by a tweet where he would write about how bad his girlfriend's health had become and how it was destroying his mental state. During his hiatus, Daquan would post a tweet longer in December 2019, writing about how it hasn't been his year, and in 2020, he would be back. But that didn't turn out to be true. And despite saying he'd be in the full swing of things by January, he wouldn't go live or upload a single video until 26th of February 2020, almost a quarter of the way throughout the year. And if you thought that disappearance was bad, what follows is much worse. And Daquan would go live just twice more before completely disappearing for the whole of 2020. Not to mention, this was during the peak of the coronavirus, where he would have been likely stuck inside, with presumably not much to do, and streamers were now getting more views than ever, with Twitch seeing massive growth all around.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. 2020 was terrible. I'm so glad it is out the way and gone. 2020 is just terrible.
Tweets, no streams, and no YouTube videos following March 2020. People were in the dark of where Daquan was, and it wasn't until November 2020, after 8 months, his fans would get any kind of answer, with a tweet writing how he felt better than he had in years. Many expected this to be his return, but little did his fans know at the time, Daquan was in fact very far from returning. December 2020, he was ghost. January, February, March of 2021, nothing. Daquan had been gone so long, YouTubers began making video essays on his disappearance, with multiple viral videos. Daquan's fans had made it very clear that they wanted him back, with thousands of comments showing their support for him. However, Daquan would not return despite this outpouring of love, and was nowhere to be seen all the way until August 2021, when he would finally show he was still alive, with a mysterious tweet of the emoji eyes. And if you thought that after almost 2 years of inactivity, Daquan would be irrelevant, you'd be very wrong. People were more hungry for his content than ever, and it showed, with this tweet getting over 300,000 likes, and a huge outpour of massive creators showing their excitement. Something big was definitely coming, and this was followed by posters and billboards showing up all around LA, with Daquan and his former TSM teammate Hamlin's, with quotes such as, "Have you seen these streamers?" and "Find the streamers." This was followed up 2 days later by the announcement that Daquan
Not gonna lie, that is a W promo billboard right there, no cap.
NRG, along alongside Hamlin's and 7 other friends, to make a content house called the NRG Foom House. A YouTube channel was created for the group, with the first video titled Revealing Daquan and Hamlin's New Content House, which quickly gained 3 million views and would show Daquan in his new $7 million content house. And a couple weeks later, Daquan would stream for the first time in a year and a half, seeing a peak view count of 90,000 live watching. But as is often the case with creators, if they have disappeared before and are notoriously inconsistent, they will often do the same in the future. And well, that turned out to be the case for Daquan. Despite huge money invested by the org, huge numbers pulled in new content, and Daquan proving he can still stream to a massive audience on Twitch, after just 2 months of uploads to the channel, the NRG Foom House would stop uploading. And it was over already. Daquan would also have his last stream of 2021 in the same month, and his last tweet before disappearing through November and December. This was so confusing. He just had this massive...
Bro, whatever is happening, it must be serious, bro.
...hyped return, and now he was already gone? What was going on? Well, viewers would
have gotta be something serious
in January of 2022, with Daquan tweeting, "Alright, time to talk about everything," and going live on his Twitch. This was accompanied by a video to his YouTube, addressing everything. In the video, he explains all the problems with the Foom House, with the main issue being that apparently the internet was absolutely terrible, and Daquan's room had no hot water or heating. Whilst his fans were showing support in the YouTube comments, many people on Reddit were not impressed by this video, with comments such as, "Zero credibility of this guy, came back for a paycheck, he just used his fans, streams, and then disappears again." My favorite part was
the internet, bro. The internet.
Him complaining about how he had to sleep in the movie room. "I hope I never experience cold so bad in the bedroom of my mansion that I have to sleep in the movie room. If only he had enough money to buy an electric heater." Following this, he would tweet about how his nightmare was over. I want to mention how he was in the process of moving back to Vegas and couldn't wait to do IRL content. By February the 7th, he'd now moved in and had internet, but in his return stream, things were very different. He'd clearly grown very tired of Fortnite. After all, the game was completely different.
Bro, this is what we get now, bro. We went from this, keeping it simple, to this, bro. What in the world is happening here?
How it was in its peak 4 years ago. And Daquan would decide to stream a game other than Fortnite, seeing him play Lost Ark. And let's just say this change in content, accompanied by his extreme levels of inconsistency over the last few
didn't
years,
help a whole lot.
Turned out to not go well together.
Yeah.
And he'd see an average of 3,700 viewers, all whilst losing 500 followers.
Damn.
And then 2 days later,
500.
he would jump back on Fortnite, averaging 14,000 viewers and gaining 3,000 new followers, showing that if he just kept playing Fortnite, he'd still be one of the biggest streamers in the world. But despite the successful stream, Daquan would never go live ever again following this stream. And since this moment, he hasn't gone live in over 3.5 years, with not a single explanation of where he has been. No tweets, no videos, no Instagram posts, no streams, leaving his audience completely in the dark. Throughout 2022,
Bro, somebody said come back, twin. Bro, what is happening with this whole twin stuff, bro? Come back, twin is crazy.
Throughout 2022 and 2023, fans would wait and hope for a return, or even just a tweet from Daquan to explain where he'd gone and if he was okay, but that would never come. However, there was an important development in November 2023 with the announcement of Fortnite OG being released, which would see the game revert back to its old original map, loophole and mechanics. This sparked a lot of hype around old Fortnite streamers who had reached huge viewership back in the early days of Fortnite.
Hey, we got Myth in there.
A hit of nostalgia.
Ninja.
Players like Myth, Tifu and Ninja were sure to see a huge influx in viewership, and this
is that
announcement
Tifu?
reignited speculations.
My fault. I might have called Tifu Ninja.
With many wondering if this was the moment to encourage him to return to streaming. If he came back now to play OG Fortnite, it's highly likely he would have been streaming to a huge audience, and if there was a time to return, this was it. However, his old TSM teammate Myth spent this morning thinking about how I'm gonna log into OG Fortnite without the real OG squad, clearly suggesting that he'd had no contact with Daquan, and nothing to suggest that Daquan would be making a return, which of course was heartbreaking for fans. After so long with no explanation, some fans would start to get emotional, as they felt they deserved at least a tweet to explain why he had left. And for the first time, some of his fans seemed to be losing their patience with Daquan,
Welcome to the NRG Thoom house, baby.
Waste of $7 million. Finesse all of your fans for millions of dollars just to leave again. I don't give a if you got problems, bro. I know damn well it's not big enough problems to not make a single tweet. Finesse all of y'all, bro, for money. I just find it so weird how you can put all of your friends in this house, have a $7 million house, and literally, like, leave your fan base and not make a single tweet. I think Hamlin's is cool. Didn't he make a tweet about it? But Daquan just left. I don't understand that.
Back and we taking over.
Yeah, we're taking over.
This is exactly how I feel. They do not care about anyone on the internet, especially the people that got them where they are now. Straight scammed NRG2, said the house couldn't get stable internet. However, some fans were more understanding, suggesting Daquan didn't owe anyone anything, and it was likely due to his depression or physical health issues that he had disappeared.
That's the thing, bro. Like, people just on the internet, bro, they don't know what's going on, bro.
Some streamers would also speculate as to where Daquan had disappeared, or why he disappeared.
The only scary thing about stepping away from content creation is if you step away, you might lose your passion for content creation.
Yeah.
You might realize that maybe it's not what you want to do in life. I think that happened with Hamlin's. I think that happened with Daquan. I think when they stepped away and they stopped making content, they realized,
you can only
I really want to make content.
assume.
And the only way you realize that is once you make that decision to walk away from it. Once you make that decision, you have time to think, to process things, to do things in your life that you haven't had the time to do. So time will tell.
It's unclear what the reason is for Daquan's disappearance, but if I were to speculate, in his career, he would have likely made millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. So he had enough money to disappear and never have to work again for the rest of his life. Especially when you consider he majored in business studies at college. Also,
smart major right there. W major.
With depression and serious physical health issues too. And when you couple this with the extremely high expectations his fans hold of him, perhaps he found the pressure too much. And with enough money saved up, why not just go out at the top and focus on improving his mental and physical health? However, amongst all of this, it is hard to see why he couldn't take a very small amount of time to load up Twitter and even give a minor explanation as to where he's been and just tell his fans that he's okay. It's unclear if Daquan will ever make a return, but it's safe to say he will always be remembered as one of the greatest streamers of all time, and he won't be forgotten anytime soon.
Facts, man. I just hope wherever he is, bro, he good, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do y'all think he's ever going to make a return, a tweet, or something to let the people know he's still good? But yeah, man, I'll catch y'all in the next one.
licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.